Have you ever encountered a hurdle with launching or growing your business? Listen, there are two things that run a business, the back end and your soft skills.
Telling you right now, if these aren't in place, you'll lose clients and you'll lose money. You don't want that? Well, you're in the right place.
Hey, I'm Dana.
Hey, I'm Sarah.
We're your hosts of the Entrepreneur Encounter, and we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes glance into our businesses, give you genuine feedback, tips and tricks, plus occasionally bring on guests that care about supporting you to grow your business organically and nurturing authentic relationships. Are you ready? Welcome back, listeners. Today, we're switching things up a bit because as an entrepreneur with an event planning background, you just learn to roll with things. So we are going to be diving into Sarah's recent experience at Podfest, which was last week. So buckle up, grab your coffee, grab your tea or any other beverage, and we're going to figure out how Podfest went and see if it's worth going to next year. So let's start with the first impressions. Can you describe like the atmosphere, the energy? Were there any like funny or unique observations once you arrived?
Well, this is the second time that I've been to Podfest. I went last year, and to be honest, last year was quite overwhelming because I walked in, I didn't know what was what. We just started our podcast, so I wasn't really entirely sure what to expect. And I don't think I stayed that long. So this year, when I went, I felt like I was more well-equipped. So when I walked in, it didn't seem busy at first. So I was like, okay, cool. There's not going to be a lot of people here. But again, it was at the Wyndham Hotel in Orlando. So it was a very, very big hotel. I had a little issue with trying to sign in just because apparently my name was not correctly placed, but that's okay. We figured it out. But the ladies at the registration table were super nice. And I got this Buzzsprout shirt last year and I wore it and everyone was all like, cool shirt, cool shirt. And then I got a new shirt.
We love shirts.
Yeah.
So what valuable knowledge or advice did you gain from this year's Podfest?
I did not have any conversations about advice giving about podcasting. It was more so talking about what we do on the podcast, what we talk about on the podcast. And surprisingly, everyone was very open and gave great feedback as to what we talk about because people don't know what soft skills are. So when you start talking about them, their mind is like, oh, I know what that is, kind of. But what was really cool, I mean, I had really great conversations with other people there, and it got me thinking, I really want to apply to speak next year because I believe that Podfest, the speakers there would only talk about podcasting, like how to write show notes, what equipment you have, this and that.
Just the hard skills.
The hard skills, yes.
Of running a business or a podcast or an organization of any size. Let's just make sure that's well-known, people.
And I walked past somebody that was speaking and they were talking about time management in podcasting. Unfortunately, I missed it because I didn't know that it was going on. So that got me thinking. I was like, wait a minute, we talk about time management? You know, that's a great topic to talk about. And then I had another conversation with somebody and they were talking about how to be a guest and how to interview somebody. And they were talking about listening. Like, are you really listening? And I said, those are called active listening skills, but it didn't really compute for some reason. And I said, no, that's a really good point because we talk about communication all the time on our show. And when you have a guest on, you need to listen to them so that you can not only just ask them questions in regards to what they said, but if you're not listening to your guests and you end up going off script, it's going to sound wonky. So that's why I was like, I can be a speaker at Podfest talking about the soft skills and why you need these soft skills when you have a podcast.
Were there any creators that you connected with and are looking forward to staying connected with now that Podfest is over?
I met somebody. She lives in Orlando. And for those that don't know, I'm in St. Pete. So Orlando is about 2 hours away from me. But it was great to make that connection because she's in her 20s, I believe, and she works with young professionals in professional development. So with that being said, I told her what I did, although I work with business owners and I help them manage their businesses. But we talk about the soft skills, the personal and professional development and where you need that to run your business. And we hit it off. And now we still talk, I don't know, 2 weeks later. But we're talking about collaborating to where we're going to start doing workshops together. And I'm going to discuss why you need professional, personal development in the workplace for young professionals, because it's so needed. This topic is not taught in high school. It's not taught in college. Obviously, you can learn things, get experience, but in order for you to succeed in your career, if you have a 9-to-5, you work in corporate, or you have a business, you need those skills. So it was great to make that connection. Shout out to Amanda.
Right? That's exciting.
Yes, I'm really excited about that. And then I want to shout out to Virginia Elder because she is my awesome client that gave me this opportunity to be able to go to Podfest.
Attention service-based entrepreneurs, unleash the power of Pinterest with a professionally optimized business account. In case you're new here, my name is Dana, co-host of Entrepreneur Encounter, and I want to be your Pinterest setup specialist. Together, we will tailor your Pinterest presence to your brand and audience, optimize your profile with captivating visuals and descriptions, develop a strategic pinning plan to reach your target audience, and then integrate Pinterest with your other marketing channels so you can repurpose instead of working harder. Then, if you love your Pinterest account setup, I do have ongoing support packages for continued success. So if you've been wanting to unlock Pinterest potential for your wedding planning business, contact me at my website, ddvirtualmanagement.com, and we can get started. So with those networking connections, I can't believe you want to be a speaker. Let me just backtrack to this. I can't believe you want to be a speaker.
That means that you need to go, Dana, and I'm trying to convince everybody that I know to go to Podfest next year. So those that are listening, Podfest, the one I'm going to is in Orlando, Florida. So if we have not spoke, you can send me a DM on Facebook and let's plan to go to Podfest next year.
So I'm looking at the Podfest website. What is the Podfest pod tour? Did they go over that at all in any way? Because it looks like they come to my area in North Carolina.
They go to different states, yes. I don't know what states, but
I don't know if they're 2024 dates, which is why I'm like,
Yeah, they're all over. They go all over the place.
That's exciting. Okay, so last question is any advice? So we want people to go with us. Maybe I can go next year since I have a whole year to plan for it. But do you have any advice for our listeners that are considering attending Podfest? Like, what are some practical tips and insights so that your experience from last year to this year was dramatically different? How can we help them more or less fast track into having an experience like you did this year, even though it's their first time going?
Get somebody that you know to go with you.
Nudge, nudge, I need to go.
To me, it's a lot more fun, maybe because I'm an introvert. Sometimes I am. If you feel overwhelmed, just step outside because it could be a lot, especially for your first time. If you're going to Podfest in a different state, I guess it depends on where you're going. I mean, in Orlando, I know things about Orlando. So if you go to the one in Orlando next year, just let me know because then I can tell you like what hotels to stay at and what to avoid.
Oh, that's good.
And then trying to sightsee, then obviously I can let you know all that stuff too. But just make sure to have fun. Even if you meet one person out of the thousands of people that go there, that's great. Just have fun.
All right. So to all of our listeners, we hope you enjoyed this spinoff experience. And we encourage you to come connect with us on our Facebook and LinkedIn group. Subscribe to our channel, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or all of the above. And if you have any additional questions about Podfest or Orlando, then leave a comment and we're happy to help make that an exciting experience. And who knows, maybe we'll have a group go. So again, thank you for listening. All of the information on Podfest and the podcasters that Sarah mentioned will be linked in our show notes. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Remember, soft skills aren't just some fluffy buzzwords that get thrown around in the corporate world. They're the key to unlocking your full potential as a professional and a human being. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and seek out opportunities to improve your soft skills. Sarah and I have a variety of workshops, online courses, and complimentary clarity calls for you to practice in real time with us. Links are always in the show notes. And be sure to join us next time for more insights, tips, and tricks to help you succeed in your entrepreneur encounter.